Kayla didn't hear the grace for turn that mic on.
Things that I said, like I've been writing out. God said something aloud.
Shalom, shalom, everybody. Shalom, 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 shalom. We are going to go ahead and get this thing started while everyone's getting the food together. Elder, you mind leading us in prayer?
Sure.
Pass him that mic.
Yeah, brother, I do need help.
Abba Yahuwah, we thank you for this feast day and for what we're about to learn and what we've been learning here all through this celebration. Learning how our Maccabean brothers, Brother Theadius and Yehudis Maccabee, how they really loved you, and you gave them the strength to persevere, and that's why we're having this feast day, because our enemies tried to eliminate us, annihilate us, because we wouldn't follow their script. So, Yahuwah, we thank you, and please let your Ruach, settle in our minds so we can go ahead and learn even more about our culture and our ancestors. In Prophecies name, amen.
Amen. So today, is our first day of what the text calls the Feast of Dedication, and I know for a lot of people it's different because people are used to around this time period celebrating what they call Christmas and whatnot. But today we're just going to try to get into this with as much information and just history and just truth. We're going to try to get down to what this feast day is really about. We'll go over some of the historical events, of course, but the underlying meaning of what today is supposed to represent. Because today, not Elder Mike, somebody that's not Elder Mike, today we are celebrating what?
Rededication.
The what?
Rededication.
Right. So it's called what some people call Hanukkah or the Feast of Dedication. So is it in the text? Because I can tell you right now, it's not in Leviticus 23. It's not. Where all the other feast days are. It's not in there. So what does it mean to be dedicated?
Like praise or like what do you call that? Somebody else that we
What does it mean to be dedicated?
like serious, sincere.
Serious, sincere.
Loyal.
I like that one. Anybody else? Another good word starts with a C. Committed. Commitment. Right? So I went to Merriam-Webster and it said that dedicated means to be devoted to a cause, ideal or purpose, zealous. So especially in this feast day, especially when you're reading the Maccabees, that's one of the words that pops up frequently when in regards to our people. They were zealous, right? So it's being given over to a particular purpose, right? So we're trying to get to the heart of what this feast day really is about, right? So you're given over to a particular purpose. Then it said that it's believing that something is very important and giving a lot of time and energy to it. So it's not just you knowing something, you're putting forth the effort, right? You're not making excuses. You got works with your faith, right? You're doing something. You're not just sitting down there, not really being a part of the body, right? You're fully functioning, right? So it's faith, spending time and energy. And then when you get down to the etymology, it says it's set apart and consecrated to a deity. So really, this feast day could be called the feast of being set apart to Yah, to the Most High, right? It's not just about gift giving for the children or whatever and all the other little games and foods that you can eat. It's about being separated for a higher power, for the higher power, and for your higher purpose, right? It says, get him before I whoop him, please. Or to a sacred purpose by a solemn act or by religious ceremonies, devoted with earnest purpose as to some person or end, right? Then it says, of persons devoted to one's aims or vocation. I'm just going to jump down. It says, of things made to be available only for a particular purpose or class of user. So only a certain group of people will be able to discern the Feast of Dedication. Because during this season, right now, everybody's getting ready for what?
Yeah, the other one.
Satan Claus and Christmas, right? Right. Krampus, right?
Yeah.
All of these, and Xmas, right? All of this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Instead of actually dedicating or rededicating themselves to the Most High in this time frame. Now, I told you, the Feast of Dedication, it's not in the Old Testament. It's not in the Old Testament, right? The Greek word equivalent to it is enkainaa, if that makes sense to you. It don't make sense to me. And it says it's the Feast of Dedication, consecration. In particular, the annual feast celebrated 8 days beginning in the 25th of Chislev, which they say is the middle of December, instituted by Yehuda Maccabee in 164 BC. That's prior to Mashiach, in memory of the cleansing of the temple from the pollution of Antiochus Epiphanes, right? So I was like, well, are there patterns? Do you see any types of dedications in the Old Testament? Because we were just talking about it. So we're going to go to number 7, right? And it's really kind of crazy that the Feast of Dedication was started on the 25th of Chislev, right? In the month of December. And then what do? When they come up with Christmas, they give you Christmas on December the 25th. It's in the same month. But who are you dedicated to? It's just funny little things that they do in history. You're like, okay. So it's real close, but something about that's just phony.
Everybody else loves Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So Hanukkah is the Feast of Dedication.
Feast of Dedication. That's correct. So we're going to go to number 7. And whoever wants to read, we're going to read verses 1 through 11. You going to get right with me? All right.
And it came to pass on the day that Moses had fully set up the tabernacle and had anointed it and sanctified it and all the instruments thereof, both the altar and all the vessels thereof, and had anointed them and sanctified them, that the princes of Israel, heads of the house of their fathers, who were the princes of the tribes, and were over them that were numbered, offered. And they brought their offering before the Most High, 6 covered wagons and 12 oxen, a wagon for 2 of the princes, and for each one an ox. And they brought them before the tabernacle. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying.
So Moses had to do what before anything could be offered? Anoint and sanctify.
Yeah.
So in this dedication, that's what you should be doing in your household, your families, like everything, like even in your future plans. You should be making your supplications known to the Most High, right? But again, this is with a renewed heart and mind towards Him, a renewed zealous mind frame towards Him and His purpose, His riches, and His glory. Not, again, this is not about the popularity contest with trying to do exactly everything that they do on Christmas. Like, oh, no, it's not about that. Because again, with the stuff that we know that's coming to America, our hearts has got to be clean, and so do our hands. We can't have innocent blood on our hands. So we got to make sure that the people that are supposed to get the truth, even if it's through our actions and them watching us as we walk and move, we got to be walking and moving with a purpose. We have to be dedicated. We have to be committed, right? We have to be zealous for this thing. So then he says, take it of them, that they may be to do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and you shall give them unto the Levites, to every man according to his service. So what is he taking? What is Moses taking from who? Moses is taking the offerings from who?
The prince
Which were the heads
of the house.
of households.
Yeah.
We set the tone. We always set the tone in our households. So as we go, so does our families, right? So again, we have to be the change. We have to live it. We have to embody that thing for everything else to fall in line, right? So then he says, and Moses took the wagons and the oxen and gave them unto the Levites. 2 wagons and 4 oxen he gave unto the sons of Gershon, and according to their service. And 4 wagons and 8 oxen he gave unto the sons of Merari, according unto their service, under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aharon, the priest. But unto the sons of Kohath he gave none, because the service of the sanctuary belonging unto them was that they should bear upon their shoulders, right? And the princes offered for dedicating of the altar in the day that it was anointed. Even the princes offered their offering before the altar. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, they shall offer their offering, each prince on his day, for the dedicating of the altar. Right? So again, this is really, everything starts with us. We have to keep that mindset, like no matter what, we can't be blaming women or children or anything. Everything starts with us being consecrated, us being dedicated to the Most High. I know we've been coming at men for like this whole year and a little bit longer than that, but we've got to be consecrated. This has got to be a habitual thing with us now, right? And so that word dedicated there, and in this particular text, this dedication lasted 12 days. It didn't last 8 days, right? So, and this is where you get the word Hanukkah, right? Where it said dedicated, number 7, right? And it just means dedication or consecration. So I'm going to show you another instance in the quote-unquote Old Testament. Huh? You believe Master alone. So we're going to go to 2 Chronicles 7, and we're going to read verses 1 through 10. 2 Chronicles 7, verses 1 through 10. Go ahead, Ike.
Now when Solomon had made an end of praying, the fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices. And the glory of the Most High filled the house. And the priests could not enter into the house of the Most High, because the glory of the Most High had filled the Lord's house.
How scared would you be if the Most High just like after the king or the leader of the people prayed and all these sacrifices were being prepared and whatnot, he just brought fire down. This is the type of stuff that our ancestors saw quite frequently, and they just wouldn't believe that the Most High would do nothing to them. It just still baffles my mind. It boggles me. It doesn't make sense to me, but fire just comes down from heaven after a prayer. Now that's a strong prayer right there. Right, keep going.
And when all the children of Israel saw how the fire came down and the glory of the Most High upon the house, they bowed themselves with their faces to the ground upon the pavement and worshiped and praised the Most High, saying, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. Then the king and all the people offered sacrifices before the Most High. And King Solomon offered a sacrifice of 22,000 oxen,
God,
and 120,000 sheep.
man.
So the king and all the people dedicated the house of the Most High.
So who's the house of the Most High?
God.
The people, right? But you got to think, when you see a sacrifice is that big, 22,000 and 120,000, they was trying to get some type of covenant or covenant renewal established. What'd you say? Yeah, that's a lot, but you got to think there's probably a lot of Israelites there too.
Right.
So all them sacrifices, none of that's going to waste pretty much because people got to eat, right? And you'll see why I'm saying that. Keep going.
And the priests waited on their offices, the Levites also with instruments of music of the Most High, which David the king had made to praise the Most High, because his mercy endures forever. When David praised by their ministry, and the priests sounded trumpets before them, and all Israel stood. Moreover, Solomon hallowed the middle of the court that was before the house of the Most High. For there he offered burnt offerings, and the fat of the peace offerings, because the brazen altar which Solomon had made was not able to receive the burnt offerings, and the meat offerings, and the fat. Also at the same time Solomon kept the feast 7 days, and all Israel with him, a very great congregation, from the entering in
Hamath.
Hamath unto the river of Egypt.
So this one's only 7 days,
Yes,
right?
7 days.
Okay.
And in the 8th day, they made a solemn assembly, for they kept the dedication of the altar 7 days, and the feast 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
And on the 23rd day of the 7th month, he sent the people away into their tents, glad and merry in heart for the goodness that the Most High had showed unto David, and to King Solomon, and to Israel's people.
So on this again, they kept it for 7 days, and then on the 8th day there was a solemn assembly. Now this would have happened in the 7th month, which would be September, October time frame. So that's still not the Feast of Dedication, but this is a type of dedication, right? So where, if anything, where in the text is the Feast of Dedication found, or is it even there?
I think it might be in the lost book somewhere.
Is that a lost book? Anybody else?
It is there somewhere in the New Testament? I know in the English it says something about, I can't remember if that was just the unknown feast or something. Could that be it?
It's not the unknown feast. No, it's not that one. But
It's like Matthew.
you're right, huh?
I don't know, I think it's Matthew. I'm not sure. I've never
You're
like-
close. It's not in Matthew. You're close.
It's like briefly though, like it's,
Yeah.
it's mentioned. but
So it's in the New
it's-
Testament.
Yeah, so it's not found in the Old. It's found in the New, which is really strange. So we're going to go to John 10.
Oh.
John 10. And go ahead, Ike.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out.
Why is he talking about sheep and sheepfold and shepherds and all this other type stuff? And what does this have to do with the Feast of Dedication? Keep going.
Yeah, and when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice, and a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers.
So there's a certain voice that we're supposed to be obeying, right? Somebody go to Exodus 23 and read verses 20 through 22 for me real quick. Anybody, go to Exodus 23.
Exodus 23, what?
Verses 20 through 22.
20 through 22?
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I send an angel before thee, to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thy enemies, and an adversary unto thy adversaries.
So he's letting us know, like, we should really be getting back into the law and think about this, because he said, like, the sheep hear the voice of the shepherd. Now, when we were in the wilderness, coming out of Egypt, right, he said, hey, you better obey my angel's voice. Who do you think the Most High was talking about? We've always dealt with Mashiach. So when like in that context, back in that day, when they hear these things, they're automatically going back to, oh, wait, what are you really trying to say here? Talking about the sheep hear my voice and all this other type of stuff. Like, you know, our people, we don't like nobody thinking high minded, like, who you think you is? What you talking about? Right? So then we keep going. So then he says, this parable spake Yahusha unto them, but they understood not what things they were, which he spake unto them. Because they had eyes, but they couldn't see, and ears that they couldn't hear. Right? Then said Yahusha unto them again, verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out, and find pasture. The thief cometh not but to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So again, he's trying to let them know who he is, right? They're supposed to be able to see these things because these are the people that the covenant was given to. The laws, the statutes, the commandments, the promises. Everything was given to these people. And they had no discernment on who they were dealing with. And this time when you're rededicating yourself, he's supposed to be made manifest to you, right? He's supposed to be discernible to you. People should be able to discern him out of you, out of your walk, out of your talk, out of your life, right? Again, because we are his sheep, right? Because you got to think if the enemy just comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So what happened to us in the Spanish Inquisition?
Oh, got destroyed.
What happened to us in the transatlantic slave trade? But people keep thinking that if we give ourselves to these systems, we will be saved out of trouble and out of torment. Rapture. But when you go to AI, you look at the pictures, ain't nobody look like us in it. None of us. Did it multiple times, none of us. America. Right? So then he says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. But he that is an hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming and leaveth the sheep and fleeth. And the wolf catcheth him and scattereth the sheep. The hireling fleeth because he is an hireling and careth not for the sheep. But a lot of people be worshiping hirelings and have no idea what's going on. Yeah, like be thinking of all these people, that these gatekeepers that the government puts in our place that look like us. We're supposed to be, oh yeah, no, they got our best interest. No, go ahead. We're still waiting for Dr. Umar's university. We're still waiting for all that dumb stuff. Keep on trusting in man. Boy, I beg your pardon. Shut up, dude. I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. His sacrifice, man. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice. And there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Now this goes to the northern kingdom, and also those that are not of the Israelites that cleave to the covenant and cleave to the people. Right? Then he says, therefore doth my Father love me, because I lay down my life, that I might take it again. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. So the Father gave him that power, that authority, right? There was a division, therefore, among the Jews for these sayings. Because like right now, they're like, man, he talking greasy right now. What he talking about? He laying down his life. Who he think he is? Like, what you mean? What is you talking about? But again, what does all this have to do with the Feast of Dedications or Hanukkah, right? And many of them said, he hath the devil and is mad. Why hear you him? Because Mashiach, man, he would just say all these parables, these hard sayings, dark sayings, and if you wasn't a part of his elect, he wouldn't tell you nothing. Like, okay, I mean, it is what it is. I said what I said. He would stand on business. He would literally stand on business. So then he's like, others said, these are not the words of him that hath the devil. Can a devil open the eyes of the blind? And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication, and it was winter. So he's revealing himself during the feast of dedication. And they had no idea who they was dealing with, right? No idea, because they were children of the prophet killers, right? And Yahushua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Then came the Yahudim round about him and said unto him, how long do you make us to doubt? If you be Mashiach, tell us plainly. Okay, you want to know? Okay. Yahushua answered them, I told you, and you believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. So if they want to know, man, how long are you going to make us doubt? Like, tell us like who you really is. How do you think they're going to react to it? You know your people. Read this. Go ahead.
But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, and I said unto you.
Hold on. So All skin folk ain't.
Kinfolk.
Blood ain't thicker than water. None of that. Look, man, who's going to do the will of the Most High? That's what it's going to come down to. Because certain people want to take you down a different road following another Elohim.
Oh, yeah.
That's their only purpose, is to draw you away. That's literally the only reason why they're in your life. And the Most High is like, well, I'm going to keep putting people like this in your life until you finally pass the
Figure it
test.
out, yeah.
Or until you're finally make it up in your mind that you're going to what? Serve their God. Strong delusion, right? Keep going.
My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish. Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one.
So when you make up your mind to be committed and dedicated to this thing, there is nothing that can separate you from the love of the Most High. That's literally what he's saying. But everybody cannot receive a word like that. Well, what if life gives me this, and what about that, and all these, hypotheticals and situationships and entanglements and all this other type stuff? They don't matter.
Yeah.
Are you doing the will of the Father?
The biggest test is the time
I had a question. My biggest question was like, these people seen what he did. They was there, they witnessed it, and they still questioned him. There was a dude who had a servant, whose servant was sick.
Yep.
He was a Roman, didn't believe in
Mhm.
any of it.
He
He
was
went
from
to
the
him
street.
and just said, hey,
Yeah.
I know you can do this. And he said, because you have the faith, I don't have to be there.
Yeah.
And he said, you don't have to be there, just say it.
Yeah.
And he did it. The dude that didn't even believe in him, believed in him enough to know that it can be done. And these people who've seen him every day, all the
Teaching all the time?
boggles my
Because
mind.
seeing is not necessarily believing, because again, people be having jealousy and ego. Because a lot of people in Sanhedrin and whatever, they were trying to keep the power that they had.
Exactly.
But all men were coming to Mashiach because of you couldn't deny the miracles that he was performing. He raised somebody from the dead. Like you said, he healed somebody by a word,
Yeah.
right, from a distance. And then what did he say to that centurion? That he had not seen great faith in all of who? Israel. Because even in the Old Testament, the Most High, he was like, man, why do y'all not have faith in me?
Right.
Why do y'all not believe in me? We are still that same stiff-necked people that, to be honest, have entitlement issues and think that we deserve everything, right? And then when we get everything, eventually we mess it up. That's just what we do. I'm just calling a spade because they wanted to know if he was the Christ, and he told them, I've already told you. So let's see how they're going to act. So now they got to be coming to Mashiach because it's the Feast of Dedication. He's revealed himself. Hallelujah.
They gonna want to start
Right?
watch.
Huh? You've been reading. You've been reading. Yeah, man. Wild.
Then the Jews, oh my bad.
Go ahead, Elder.
I'm looking at verse 34,
Mm-hmm.
and isn't that some kind of a English misprint translation? Because that don't sound right.
It said, ye are God.
No, that's in Psalms. That's in Psalms.
I mean, what I'm asking is, it says like, you are God's, like, you belong, in other words, you belong to Elohim. Yeah, you know what I'm
Be created in
saying?
his image.
He said, Jesus answered.
Not like saying that you yourself are some little God. I'm saying like,
So
you know,
in Psalms.
you belong to Elohim, in other words.
So if we go to Psalms 82, it says, Elohim standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the Elohim. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah. Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, you are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But you shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O Elohim, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Because even in I think it's Deuteronomy 14, he says, now you become the children of the Most High. So if we're children of the Most High, that would make us sons and daughters of God.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Christian church, that's what they always tells you to say, I'm a child of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when he bluntly makes statements like that, they think it's blasphemy? Because people err in not knowing the scriptures. Like he literally quoted a whole psalm like out of nowhere. Like, okay, y'all must not know who y'all messing with. You know I gave y'all this stuff, right?
Right. That's why he tells us not to serve no other God before him, because there's other gods.
Right, they out there.
The ultimate
Small
number
G,
one, right.
Yeah, definitely double small G.
Yeah. Okay.
Start from the top.
All right. Then the Jews took up stones again to stone him. Yeshua answered them, many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of those works do you stone me? The Jews answered him, saying, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, and because that thou, being a man, makest thyself Yah, or God. Yeshua answered them, is it not written in your law, I said, ye are gods?
Just point blank period. He just went straight to it. Like, is that not in there? Am I tweaking? You're a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to know the law better than everybody here, right? Is that there or is it not?
Yeah.
Yo bad, your fault.
If he called them gods, unto whom the word of God came, and the scripture cannot be broken.
So he was calling the children of it, because again, if you're a child of the Most High and you're operating and functioning in that authority, I mean, did Moses not become a god unto Pharaoh? Was he not a god unto Aaron? Aaron was his prophet?
Yeah.
Same pattern. Because we are the people or the children of the covenant, right? That's why we do things that, like, you see the world say it's impossible. Next thing you know, we got people in different pockets of the world just creating all these vehicles, working on different types of fuel. And then, like, you know, all these wealthy people try to hurry up and either kill them or get rid of them or buy it off or whatever. Because we know what our source is. And with him, all things are.
Possible.
Keep going.
Say you of him, whom the Father hath sanctified, and sent into the world, thou blasphemest, because I said, I am the Son of Yah.
Now, how crazy is that, though? Because then, again, he said, is it not written in your law, I have said you are gods.
Yeah.
Because again, I think it's Deuteronomy 14, if I'm not mistaken, where it says you have now become children of God, or Elohim. Where's the blasphemy at?
Ain't nothing.
But again, because people don't want to have a leader,
Yeah.
right? Everybody wants to be, even in this awakening, everyone wants to be their own leader. You know, nobody wants to like be a part of an order or organization or a function or whatever, especially anybody that looks like you. If they don't look like you, oh yeah, they'll follow them because they look like the oppressor, right? And they still, in their minds, a lot of people, they have that God complex according to the oppressor still. And that's something that has to get rooted out because that's why they changed the image, right? Because if Mashiach is the image of the invisible creator and Mashiach looked closer to us, and if the world knew that at the time, they wouldn't have been able to persecute us then, right? So they had to change the image, right? And then once the image and all that stuff ended up getting changed, you see the Spanish Inquisition and the transatlantic slave trade, and now there's this big controversy on who the people are. There ain't no controversy. They are still finding more books that tout who the actual people are, where we've gone through throughout the slave trades and everything. Like they know, and it's in the big colleges.
But they be hiding it though.
There's one particular book where it has like so much damning information. It's like one of them was like $55,000 to get. One was over like $100,000. Like you'll just never, unless you're like a millionaire, you'll just never be able to get some of these books, unless you got friends in high places.
Yeah.
But again, that's why they worked so hard. Like y'all remember that video that I just sent in a group text either yesterday or the day before about how there's not any positive shows of quote unquote black people anymore. They give us power. We got to be in drugs and all this other type stuff. Why? Because they have the power and they have to make us think, well, I got to get it from the mud that way.
Yeah.
Like we don't have Bill Cosby no more, right? We don't have nothing like that no more. Family Matters. We have nothing positive for our children anymore.
They make us work now. We got to do a negative character
Yeah, you have to.
So you can rise up.
For us to make it, yeah, we gotta be like drug dealing, murdering gangsters. Like it's crazy because like you were telling me about how they redid the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
Yeah.
It's totally different.
and
Yeah.
and then we became homosexuals and crazy and into orgies and all this other type stuff. Nothing positive. They have to destroy the image because you are the image of the invisible creator. I'm just like, there's this one, I wish I would have put this in here. There's a dictionary where it says like Negro. It literally says the image of God in the definition. But coming from the mindset where we come from, it's hard for us to fathom like the image of the creator, the image of the original man. And it's not to say we're not better than anybody. Our skin color does not make us better than nobody. Nobody's trying to say that, but you have to realize when the enemy tries so hard for so long to keep your image and your self-esteem down, and then they try so hard and like they were able to destroy our nuclear family to an extent, to where now the most educated person in America is the what? The quote-unquote black woman, right? And then our men, we're catching up, but we can't be so educated that we leave our own people. Because you lose yourself, and then you can lose yourself and somebody else is following a different Elohim. You got to be careful with that. Because we were always told to be careful with the wives or the husbands that were taken, because they would take us away from the Most High. Go ahead.
They claim that a lot of our
Pastor Mike.
Our sisters are educated, but you also when you look statistically.
Yeah.
Statistically, again, since because the man is no longer there as the head, they're the most in debt too.
Yeah.
They're the most in debt. Yeah, you're educated, but you're the most in debt.
Yeah, it's overly educated to a fault because, again, without an order being established, the nuclear family is not a prerogative for them anymore. It's not something that they really crave. They want to be a corporate person. They want to wait till they're in their 40s to try to settle down and have a family. Like, so you think you're just going to be having fun and all these men are just going to wait for you to turn 40? Like, no. But again, we can't be so educated that we allow, because that's a trap of the enemy to destroy our families, right?
You don't got no choice because these men ain't lined up either.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Just saying.
You look, and I honestly, like, I'm scared for the people that are in the dating scene now, because right now this stuff is crazy. Like, nobody like talks face to face. It's all phone, social media, dating stuff. Like, this stuff is weird, bro. I would not want to be a part of none of that. Then you gotta sift through. Are you vaccinated? Are you not? Like what's still? What else we got going on over there? And then a lot of these women are witches. Like, are you into witchcraft? You in like this? I'm just grateful I don't have to go through that right now.
White witches, the good witches.
Yeah, like Linda, or whatever her name was from The Wizard of Oz. Because she was supposed to be the good witch, right?
Then you got the
What's her name? Glenda?
yeah.
So you know they came out with a second one, right?
Yeah.
And then actually through that, she's actually the bad one.
The whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, you can watch it.
Bro, okay, how wicked do you got to be? You could have just told Dorothy, all you got to do is like, with your heels and your back. Why you want to go see a fake wizard? That don't make no sense.
You know that's fake.
Like,
She just wanted her to kill off all her enemies.
all our enemies.
So you talking about the one with Ariana Grande on there?
Yeah, the second, they just made another one.
Yeah, that's the one.
The second wicked.
The black
It's totally different than what you
Yeah.
think it was, and the story that we grew up watching
Yeah.
is like, wait a minute.
Yep. Makes you rethink everything.
Got upset.
It messed me up too. I'm like, what, really?
I'm not even watching it. I gotta watch it.
Hey, we can watch it.
It's good. It's really, really good. And answer a question that I had in like 2009, because I had that same question. I was playing around one day and I just kind of would have thought. And then it really expounded on that. I didn't know that there was a whole book. I didn't know any of that stuff. I just bored one day and was like, oh, wonder.
Yeah.
And then
So it's a good movie.
In a sense.
There's a lot of singing though. There's a lot of singing. I know you don't like that.
Yeah, it's a musical, but like to me, it's kind of like what they did with us. They took our image
Huh?
and literally destroyed it over a lot.
Literally. Talk
Yeah,
about it,
because
sis. Go ahead.
This other person, she didn't even have no powers at all, nothing. She was just there, you know, she's so pretty and whatever the case. But they made her look like the good witch, and she didn't have anything. It was all because of the other witch. She was a different color. She was different. She had all the powers. So they destroyed her image and blamed everything on her when she was just trying to help.
Yep.
So it's deep, but
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll watch it. Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah, it's gonna like really make you kind of like, oh. But keep going on.
If I do not the works of my Father, believe me not. But if I do, though ye believe not me, believe the works, that ye may know and believe that the Father is in me and I in him. Therefore sought again to take him, but he escaped out of the hand.
So he gave them exactly what they wanted, and 3 different times they done tried to stone this man. 3 different times. They wanted to know if he was Mashiach. Like, I already told you I'm him. I'm Himothy. That's me. And you still don't. So nothing I say is going to work.
They just don't want to believe it.
All of this happened at the Feast of Dedication.
Wow. Ain't that something?
And went away again beyond Jordan to the place where John at first baptized, and there he abode. And many resorted unto him, and said, John did no miracle, but all things that John spake of this man were true, and many believed on him there.
I'm so grateful that some of our people believed on him, because that's crazy. Like, this is the time, the Feast of Dedication, you're supposed to be believing him more. It's supposed to be showing on you or in you, right? And so just to give y'all some more information about Hanukkah, right? So I'm reading from this book. It's called Messiah in the Feasts, right? Bam, if you don't mind. Aki. By Sam Nader, I think that's his name. Nadler. The Legend of the Oil. So the reason why it's 8 days, right, is allegedly, right, that the candles were lit for like 8 days when only had enough for 1 day, right? Allegedly. Okay.
Hanukkah is the Hebrew word for dedication. Hanukkah is thought by many people to be 8 days long because of a legend regarding the oil of the temple. According to this tradition, when the Maccabees recaptured and rededicated the temple, they attempted to light the temple menorah. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
This menorah, which was to burn continually, represented the eternal light of God. Alas, what's that?
The Talmud.
The Talmud relates there was only enough oil to last for 1 day. The oil miraculously lasted 8 days when the temple was rededicated.
There's more reasons than that. It's not based off of the Talmud. Keep going.
The legend probably developed during the Roman occupation long after the events occurred.
Mm-hmm.
While some people think the legend of the oil became popular in order to avoid the warlike aspects of the holiday. After all, celebrating the overthrow of your oppressor might be perceived as politically incorrect by the Roman army. It would likely have caused unwanted trouble for the Israelites of that day. The historical reason for the 8 days is actually based on
Sukkot.
The Feast of Booths.
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 Or Shabuah, yep. Mm-hmm.
So, or what?
Shabuah. We went over that last year, or earlier this year one. The better word for it is Shabuah, but it's booths. That's fine.
The Jews celebrated joyfully for 8 days as on the Feast of Booths, remembering how a little while before they had spent the Feast of Booths living like wild animals in caves on the mountains, carrying rods intertwined with leaves, green branches, and palms, right?
Mm-hmm.
They sang hymns of grateful praise to him who brought the purification of his own place. 2 Maccabees 10, 6 and 7.
Right.
The Feast of Sukkot was the most recent feast in the calendar when the temple was rededicated for the holy worship. But during the last 3 celebrations, they were engaged in, guerrilla warfare. However, they recognized the Lord's provision and protection in bringing them victory.
So, I think I just made a mistake. So the Feast of Booths or whatever, it was the Feast of Tabernacles, right? Because what do you do during the Feast of Tabernacles?
and tents.
Tents, right? Tents. And then during the Maccabean era, we'll just call it that, during that time frame, that's what they kind of had to do. They had to flee to the mountain and stay in uncomfortable places, right? So again, this is like where the 8 days comes from. So, Brandon, if you don't mind reading this next one.
Today, despite what some may think, the Feast of Dedication is more than a gift giving an alternative to Christmas. Hanukkah is a joyous holiday to be sure, but it is meant to celebrate the victory God gave our people through the heroic efforts of the Maccabean family.
So that's what the traditional thing is, but I just showed you what it's really about. It's really about Mashiach. Now, all the things that our Maccabean ancestors did, we can never forget that. I agree with that. But still, everything got to go through Mashiach first. Because what we don't really understand is, during that time frame, that's why they was trying to ask him, like, man, you going to tell us who is, if you are Christ or not? Our people were looking for Mashiach because they were looking to be saved out of captivity. Even though they were in their own land, they were under Roman American occupation. If that makes sense to you. Right? They weren't their own government per se. It was a proxy government. Right, because we know that the Herodians had gotten in there, and King Herod was king of Judea and all this other type stuff. Right, Edomites. Right, they didn't have control over their own national sovereignty. They were looking to be saved out of captivity, even in their own land. They were looking for the rest of the northern kingdom to come back. Right, because that's one of the promises of when Mashiach comes to finish out this thing. Right, keep going.
Among the festivities and symbols associated with Hanukkah, one of the best known is the children's game called Dreidel. A dreidel is a four-sided top with the Hebrew letter on each side that form an acrostic for the phrase, "A great miracle happened there." In Israel, the dreidel is a little different. The acrostic says, "A great miracle happened here." To play the game, the children spin the top, remembering the historical event, when once again our people were saved from destruction. During the 8 days of Hanukkah, there's a menorah that is lit as well.
Now, because Jim was asking questions about how you light it, or like, well, it's got 9 candles on it. Why does it have 9 on it? It's about to explain why there's 9 candles on it. Okay. Which, did he bring it up here? Huh? Oh, okay. You still bring it? Okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
The Hanukkah menorah, called Hanukkah, has 9 candle holders rather than 7. 8 of the candles are lit for each night of Hanukkah, and the 9th is called the Shamash, which is Hebrew for servant. The Shamash, or servant candle, is lit first and is then used to light the other candles.
So what happens? The 9th one, you do what with it?
You serve.
Okay. We're paying attention. Okay.
Increasing by 1 each night successively. Foods traditionally enjoyed on Hanukkah include latkes, potato cakes fried in oil. This is my favorite. And in Israel, jelly donuts. Though considered by many as merely a minor Jewish holiday, Hanukkah contains profound biblical truths for all people to seriously consider.
So, and I didn't put this part in there. So there's different traditions from the Ashkenazi side and the Sephardic side. So those potato pancakes, Ashkenazi. The jelly donuts, Sephardic. Just so y'all know that. Okay. And I should have put that in there, but I'll try to give y'all like either an email like print off. Maybe I'll just email y'all like the slides so y'all can go through it later. But I'm gonna give y'all a little bit more backstory. So prior to you getting to the time of Christ, prior to even the Maccabean era, Josephus, who was the historian that wrote about our people, wrote about certain things that were happening to where we actually had favor with Alexander the Great. And we're going to read about that real quick before we get into First Maccabees, okay? We good with that? Yeah, Alexander the Cretan, which is where you get the word Christian. But anyway, so we're going to the Antiquity of the Jews, Book 11, Part 8. And I'll start this one. It says, about this time it was that Philip, king of Macedon, was treacherously assaulted and slain of Aegea by Pausanias, the son of Sarastes, who was derived from the family of Orestai, and his son Alexander succeeded him in the kingdom. That's Alexander the Great or Great. who passing over the Hellespont overcame the generals of Darius' army in a battle fought at Granicum. So he marched over Lydia and subdued Ionia and overran Caria and fell upon the places of Pamphylia, as he had been related elsewhere, right? So we keep going. Then he says, but the elders of Jerusalem, being very uneasy that the brother of Jaddua, the high priest, though married to a foreigner, because you know that technically priests and high priests are supposed to marry children of their own people, should be a partner with him in the high priesthood, quarreled with him. For they esteemed this man's marriage a step to such as should be desirous of transgressing about the marriage of strange wives, and that this would be the beginning of a mutual society with foreigners. Well, people didn't like that. Although the offense of some about marriages and their having married wives that were not of their own country had been on occasion of their former captivity. That's what we do in captivity. And of the miseries they then underwent. So they commanded Manasseh to divorce his wife. Like, hey, you're going to get rid of her. Or not to approach the altar. The high priest himself joining with the people in their indignation against his brother, and driving him away from the altar, whereupon Manasseh came to his father-in-law, Sanballat, and told him that although he loved his daughter Nakaso, yet was he not willing to be deprived of his sacerdotal dignity on her account, which was the principal dignity in their nation, and always continued in the same family. So whoever wants to read this next one, go ahead. Who got it? Who got it? So what?
When Sanballat promised him not only to preserve to him the honor of his priesthood, but to procure for him the power and dignity of an high priest, and would make him governor of all the places he himself now ruled, if he would keep his daughter for his wife. He also told him further that he would build him a temple like to that at Jerusalem upon Mount Gerizim, which is in the highest of all the mountains that are in Samaria. And he promised that he would do this with the approbation of Darius the king. Manasseh was elevated with these promises and stayed with Sanballat.
Do y'all know who Darius the king is? He was the king of Persia, the Medo-Persian Empire.
Daniel time.
Daniel time. There we go. Okay.
Upon a proposal that he should gain a high priesthood as bestowed on him by Darius. For it happened that Sanballat was then in years, but there was now a great disturbance among the people of Jerusalem, because many of those priests and Levites were entangled in such matches, but they all revolted to Manasseh. And Sanballat afforded them money and divided among them land for tillage and habitations also, and all this in order every way to gratify his son-in-law.
Right, so he's trying to keep his son-in-law married to his daughter, right? Yeah, he's trying to pay him off. Jamal, will you mind reading? You got good eyes. Everyone's saying it's small. Yeah. Say what? They need glasses?
A lot of punctuation in there. I was trying to.
Yeah. About this time it was that Darius heard Alexander had passed over the
Hellespont?
and had beaten his lieutenants in the battle at Granicum, and was proceeding farther, whereupon he gathered together an army of horse and foot, and determined that he would meet the Macedonians before they should assault and conquer all Asia. So he passed over the river Euphrates and came over Taurus, the Sicilian mountain, and it, Isis of Sicilia, he waited for the enemy, as ready there to give him battle. Upon which Sanballat was glad that Darius was come down, and told Manasseh that he would suddenly perform his promises to him, and this as soon as ever Darius should come back, after he had beaten his enemies, for not he only, but For not he only, but all those that were there in Asia also were persuaded that the Macedonians not so much as to come to a battle with the Persians. And some of this word is crazy, but on account of their multitude, but the event proved otherwise than they expected. For the king joined battle with the Macedonians and was beaten and lost a great part of his army. His mother also and his wife and children were taken captives, and he fled into Persia.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
He had to get up out of there. His family got out of there. So then it says, so Alexander came into Syria and took Damascus. And when he had obtained Sidon, he besieged Tyre. When he said, when he sent an epistle to the Jewish high priest to send him some auxiliary. So Alexander was like, hey man, send us something. And to supply his army with provisions. And that what presents he formerly sent to Darius, he would now send to him. And choose the friendship of the Macedonians. And that he should never repent of doing so, or so doing. But the high priest answered the messengers that he had given his oath to Darius. And you know, Darius and his arm just got beat. Like, man, I gave my oath to old boy. Not to bear arms against him. And he said that he would not transgress them while Darius was in the land of the living. Do you think that's a smart thing to do? Talking about Alexander who's going conquering everybody. Alexander the Great. You're like, I gave my oath to this other man. As long as he's alive, I can't rock with you. That's crazy talk. Yeah. The land of the living. Upon hearing this answer, Alexander was very angry. And though he determined not to leave Tyre, which was just ready to be taken, yet as soon as he had taken it, he threatened that he would make an expedition against the Yahudim high priest. So he said, I'm coming for you. Don't worry about it. And through him teach all men to whom they must keep their oaths. So when he had, with a good deal of pains during the siege, taken Tyre and had settled its affairs, he came to the city of Gaza and besieged both the city and him that was governor of the garrison, whose name was Babe-Meses. Babe-Meses, you can't make that up. But Sanballat thought he had now gotten a proper opportunity to make his attempt. So he renounced Darius, that's his father-in-law, and taking with him 7,000 of his own subjects, he came to Alexander. And finding him beginning the siege of Tyre, he said to him that he delivered up to him these men who came out of the places under his dominion, and did gladly accept of him for his master instead of Darius. So when Alexander had received him kindly, Sanballat thereupon took courage and spake to him about his present affair. He told him that he had a son-in-law, Manasseh, who was brother to the high priest Jaddua, and that there were many others of his own nation now with him that were desirous to have a temple built in the places subject to him, that it would be for the king's advantage to have the strength of the Jews divided into two parts, lest when the nation is of one mind and united upon any attempt for innovation, it prove troublesome to kings, as it had formerly proved to the kings of Assyria. Whereupon Alexander gave Sanballat leave to do so, because our people have always been rebels against authority, and then that's one thing that we can tell because we got a lot of YNs, but they be having misguided anger, right? But we were always known for like, man, these people, they coming against us again. I'm telling you, we was them. That's who we was. You know all about that. Who used the utmost diligence and built the temple and made Manasseh the priest and deemed it a great reward that his daughter's children should have that dignity. But when the 7 months of the siege of Tyre were over, that's crazy, 7 months to take over a place. And the 2 months of the siege of Gaza, Sanballat died. Now Alexander, when he had taken Gaza, made haste to go up to Jerusalem. Because remember, he told the guy, I'm coming for you, right? That's what he told him. To Jerusalem, and Jaddua, the high priest, when he heard that, was in an agony and under terror. He was scared, as not knowing how he should meet the Macedonians. Since the king was displeased at his foregoing disobedience, he therefore ordained that the people should make supplications and should join with him in offering sacrifice to the Most High. So like, hey, yo, we got to come together, man.
Right now.
Hey, like right now. This is the time, right? Whom he besought to protect that nation, which is the right thing to do, and to deliver them from the perils that were coming upon them. Whereupon Elohim warned him in a dream, which came upon him after he had offered sacrifice, that he should take courage and adorn the city and open the gates, that the best should appear in white garments, but that he and the priest should meet the king in the habits proper to their order, without the dread of any ill consequences. So have courage, have faith in the Most High. Have faith in Mashiach. Say what?
Don't be scared about it.
Yeah, don't be scared. Which the providence of Elohim would prevent. Upon which, when he rose from his sleep, he greatly rejoiced and declared to all the warning he had received from the Most High. According to which dream he acted entirely, and so waited for the coming of the king. So he had faith in that dream, like, okay, Most High, you gave me a word, and I'm going to believe it. Jamal, go ahead and read.
Man, it's getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, it is. That's why you're going to read now. That's why you're going to read now. This is the perfect time. It's your time, boy. You and the letters the same height. Say what? You want me to read? You want me to keep going?
Yeah, you might want to do that one, brother.
Okay, he says, and when he understood that he was not far from the city, he went out in procession with the priests and the multitude of the citizens. The procession was venerable, and the manner of it different from that of other nations. It reached to a place called Sapha, which name translated into Greek signifies a prospect. For you have thence a prospect both of Jerusalem and of the temple. And when the Phoenicians and the Chaldeans that followed him thought they should have liberty to plunder the city, so they thought that they was about to get to it, and torment the high priest to death. That's what they was ready for, to death, which the king's displeasure fairly promised them. The very reverse of it happened. For Alexander, when he saw the multitude at a distance in white garments, while the priests stood clothed with fine linen, and the high priest in purple and scarlet clothing, with his mitre on his head. What's his mitre?
The rap, I guess.
What is it? What's it called? The turban. He had his turban on. So he was coming out as a high priest with a turban on. That's what a mitre is. It's a turban, right? While the priest clothed with fine linen, and the high priest in purple and scarlet clothing with his mitre or turban on his head, having the golden plate whereon the name of Elohim was engraved, he approached by himself and adored that name. So Alexander adored the name and first saluted the high priest. The Jews also did all together with one voice salute Alexander and encompass him about. Whereupon the kings of Syria and the rest were surprised at what Alexander had done, and supposed him disordered in his mind, like, man, he tripping. I thought we was about to destroy this place. However, Parmenio alone went up to him and asked him how it came to pass that when all others adored him, he should adore the high priest of the Jews. To whom he replied, I did not adore him, but that Elohim who hath honored him with his high priesthood. For I saw, check this out, for I saw this very person in a dream.
That's wild.
In this very habit. So exactly what he was doing, he saw the same thing. They saw the same dream. In this very habit, when I was at Dios in Macedonia, who, when I was considering with myself how I might obtain the dominion over of Asia, exhorted me to make no delay. So then he, in the dream, he was helping them take over Asia, but boldly to pass over the sea thither, for that he would conduct my army and would give me the dominion over the Persians. How good is the Most High? That's wild. That is wild. Jamal, you're up. Okay, I got it. whence it is that having seen no other in that habit, and now seeing this person in it, and remembering that vision and the exhortation which I had in my dream, I believe that I bring this army under the divine conduct, and shall therewith conquer Darius and destroy the power of the Persians, and that all things will succeed according to what is in mine own mind. And when he had said this to Parmenio, and had given the high priest his right hand, so that's a fellowship, the priest ran along by him, and he came into the city. And when he went up into the city, because did y'all know that Alexander came to Jerusalem? Did any of y'all know that? Into the temple, he offered sacrifice to the Most High, according to the high priest's direction, and magnificently treated both the high priest and the priest. And when the book of Daniel was showed him, wherein Daniel declared that one of the Greeks should destroy the empire of the Persians, he supposed that himself was the person intended. Man, our people, like our prophets are so, that's just crazy. Intended. And as he was then glad, he dismissed the multitude for the present. But the next day he called them to him and bid them ask what favors they pleased of him. Whereupon the high priest desired that they might enjoy the laws of their forefathers. So we get to keep the laws of our forefathers maybe. And might pay no tribute on the 7th year, the Shabbat year. He granted all they desired. And when they entreated him that he would permit the Jews in Babylon and Media to enjoy their own laws also, he willingly promised to do so hereafter what they desired. And when he said to the multitude that if any of them would list themselves in his army on this condition, that they should continue under the laws of their forefathers and live according to them, he was willing to take them with him. Many were ready to accompany him in his wars. So you know our people, a bunch of our people joined the Macedonians or the Greeks. That's what I'm saying. When you get to the New Testament, you can't think that every word says Greek that is not necessarily not an Israelite, because we mixed. Right. We became part of the army. We're reading about it, right? Now you can read.
So when Alexander had thus settled matters in Jerusalem, he led his army into the neighboring cities, and when all the inhabitants to whom he came received him with great kindness, the Samaritans
Who are the Samaritans?
live in that area.
The northern kingdom.
Okay.
So there was northern kingdom Israelites that didn't get taken into captivity. There were some strangers that got moved in there also. But that's known as the northern kingdom, the capital of the northern kingdom. Okay.
The Samaritans who had then Shechem for the metropolis, a city was that situated at Mount
Gerizim.
and inhabited by apostates of the Jewish nation, seeing that Alexander had so greatly honored the Jews, determined to profess themselves Jews.
So since we getting honored, yeah, we Jews too. You know, we them. We related. We kinfolk. Yeah, that's us. We them.
Yeah.
We the ones.
For such is the disposition of the Samaritans, as we have already elsewhere declared, that when the Jews are in adversity, they deny that they are of kin to them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So we in trouble, they ain't no kin to us, right?
Yeah. And then they confess the truth. But when they perceive that some good fortune hath befallen them, they immediately pretend to have communion with them, saying that they belong to them and derive their genealogy from the posterity of Joseph, Ephraim, and Manasseh.
Right, the northern kingdom. So then it says, accordingly they made their address to the king with splendor, and showed great alacrity in meeting him at a little distance from Jerusalem. And when Alexander had commended them, the Shechemites approached to him, taking along with them the troops that Sanballat had sent him, and they desired that he would come to their city and do honor to their temple also, to whom he promised that when he returned he would come to them. And when they petitioned that he would remit the tribute of the 7th year to them, because they did not sow thereon, he asked who they were that made such a petition. And when they said that they were Hebrews, but had the name of Sidonians living at Shechem, he asked them again whether they were Jews. And when they said they were not Jews, it was to the Jews, said he, that I granted that privilege. However, when I return and am thoroughly informed by you of this matter, I will do what I shall think proper. And in this manner he took leave of the Shechemites, but ordered that the troops of Sanballat should follow him into Egypt, because there he designed to give them lands, which he did a little after in Thebes, when he ordered them to guard that country. And the last one from this one says, now when Alexander was dead, the government was parted among his successors, but the temple upon, Mount Gerizim remained. And if anyone were accused by those of Jerusalem, so when you go to Peter's dream in Acts, right, were accused by those of Jerusalem of having eating things common, or having broken the Sabbath, or any other crime of the like nature, he fled away to the Shechemites and said that he was accused unjustly. About this time it was that Judea, the high priest, died, and Onias, his son, took the high priesthood. This was the state of the affairs of the people of Jerusalem at this time. So again, Alexander the Great comes through. Everything ends up being fine. There was a prophetic dream that ends up saving the people and the high priest. Everything is good. We are good with the Greeks. And then we go to the next book, which would be book 12, which we're just going to go to 1 Maccabees 1. 1 Maccabees 1. And whoever wants to read, go ahead. Bam, you got this, right? He's like, yeah, that'll look a little bigger. I can read that, right?
Y'all can read the underlying part. And it happened after that, Alexander's son Philip, right?
Yep.
The Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim.
Kittim is wrong.
And what was the smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes. That's right, Medes. That he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
Right.
And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. Who is this? Is Alexander's son, right?
This is Alexander.
Son.
He's the son of Philip.
Oh.
Alexander, son of Philip.
Gotcha. Okay. And went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries, nations, and kings, who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he would die.
So prior to him dying, again, everything is good for the people, right? Okay.
Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years, and then died. And his servants bare rule everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So Alexander, was he good or bad? Like,
Well, he wasn't conquering the world, so.
But I thought what we just read, he was.
I mean, he ended up being good to he was good to our people. Yeah.
Everybody else had to get it. Yeah. Okay,
He was a whooping stick.
He was D-born, then he made Craig.
Got that brick in hand.
There came out of them a wicked root with the
Antiochus.
Antiochus her name.
Epiphanes,
son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage of Edrom and had reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
So,
he
Brandon,
reigned 137 years?
no. He reigned in the 137th year of the Greek nation. Brandon, would you read?
In
No.
those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are around about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
What is it that makes us always want to be like the nations? Like, what is it in us? Like, man, everyone else got it. They doing this.
You
Why?
may be riding those free wheels on them.
I'll tell you what it does. It's their self-hatred.
It is self-hatred.
Sellouts, man.
Sellouts.
That's the
Yep.
right word for it, yeah.
Buck dancers, man.
Want to be like everybody else and not yourself.
Telling y'all.
Everybody want to be like us. They're so crazy.
Yeah, which it's wild because like even like when we're going over the history of the Spanish Inquisition, we talked about the difference between the Muslims and us. The Muslims would stay set apart, but we would want to be right in the center where they at. Like, yeah, we're gonna be right in the urban centers, and we're gonna let them know we got a closer connection because like we're the people, even though we converted and this and that. But we still want to be just like y'all. We want to rub elbows, hate ourselves. But all right, keep going.
So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward hearing that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
So they were sold to do mischief. Like now, it says that they made themselves uncircumcised. What does that mean?
That was just pretty much.
They pulled it back and made it look like they was uncircumcised?
No.
No, they stopped. They stopped.
They stopped doing the law.
Our people, our children, our babies were circumcised on the 8th day. And that's what they stopped doing.
Yeah, they definitely stopped doing that. You're not wrong. You weren't wrong either.
Circumcision of the heart, though.
Circumcision of the heart. All of y'all's hidden. Like, so it says a place of exercise. What do we call that now? A gymnasium. So I know we've gone over this before, but what is a gymnasium?
It came from the Romans or Greek.
Yeah, place of exercise, right? So when you look at etymology, it says place of exercise from Latin gymnasium for school gymnastics, from Greek gymnasium, public place where athletic exercises are practiced, gymnastic school, and plural bodily exercise, the gymnasium to exercise or train literally. Y'all ready for the rest of it?
Oh, no.
That's where the gladiators was at. They were killing. It was a place of killing.
Nope.
No, that's for the
That's why they hung people.
Huh?
The Zestmeisters.
So, good old ChatGPT. What do they mean by a place of exercise? Which I already know, but I know we haven't gone over this in a couple of years. So I said, I will tell you, it says, I will tell you exactly what place of exercise means, plain truth, no euphemism, because I've already updated ChatGPT not to lie to me, right? So it says, short answer. Place of exercise is the Greek gymnasium, not a fitness center, not innocent recreation. It was a cultural, religious, and ideological invasion. You ready? In the Greek world, a gymnasium was a male-only institution. So women, y'all couldn't be there. Where youths trained naked. The word gymnos means naked.
Wow.
Dedicated to Greek gods, especially Hermes, Heracles. A place for physical training, philosophy, political indoctrination, loyalty to Greek identity. This was state-sponsored Hellenization or Americanization. And ain't no women allowed in there? That's a problem. That's a big problem. Go ahead, Elder. That couldn't be me. I'm just saying.
Now here's the thing. Look here, I'm going to say it like this here. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not going to say all of them. But when you talk about these people that are in these damn fraternities and stuff.
Talk about it. They do a lot of suspect stuff in them things. You talking about those Greek fraternities, right?
You know what I'm talking about.
It's not suspect. They doing gay stuff.
That's suspect to me.
They doing gay stuff.
He said that ain't suspect. I know what they're doing. Okay. But yes, because again, we haven't gone over this for probably about 2 or 3 years. So I didn't know if we would remember this. So then it says, why this will be a direct attack on the Torah identity. Nudity violated the law. Public nudity was forbidden in the Torah. The gymnasium normalized what Torah forbade. So certain of our people went to the Greek king and got permission to create a gymnasium.
Like, why, bro? Like, come on.
Because they was sus. They was zesty than a mug.
Tripping, man. So you want to be naked around the whole
Again, women were not allowed
That's why.
in the gymnasium. It makes you think differently of it now when you go in that joint like, okay, there's some women in here. All right. I ain't about to do all that. So then circumcision. Now this is what we were talking about. Became a problem. Greek Asiatics prized the intact foreskin. So this is why I say all of y'all were right. As a result, Yahudim youths attempted to epispasm, surgically reverse their circumcision. Yeah. So it wasn't just of the heart, it was a physical thing. They were trying to undo it to become a Greek or to become an American.
I bet you how many people died doing that.
Look, I'm saying.
Infection.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Stop it now.
Yeah. It says, so what you missed was, you know what, so in the Maccabees era, there were certain Jews went to the king of the Greeks and got permission to create a place of exercise. So you know what a gymnasium is, right? So the actual definition of a gymnasium was a male-only institution where youths train naked. The word gymnos means naked, literally. Dedicated to Greek gods, Hermes and Heracles. It was a place for physical training, philosophy, political indoctrination, loyalty to Greek identity. It was state-sponsored Hellenization, right? And then when they became uncircumcised, the kids that were circumcised, they were going through a surgical process to undo the circumcision, to become Greeks. So when you get into the New Testament, that's why you see the circumcision going against the uncircumcision. That's the history that they don't teach us, right? That's what was really going on. And it says this is recorded in ancient Jewish sources. So there's sources behind it. Covenant identity was literally altered to fit Greek norms. They didn't care about the covenant no more. They just wanted to be Greeks. The gymnasium replaced the temple as a social center. It became so popular. No one went to the temple anymore. Everyone went to the naked place. Again, where women were not allowed. Diddy time. What?
What we're reading here is these heathens basically picked up the ways of the Sodomites
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
and the Gomorites.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much. That's what was going on. Yeah. Again, this is stuff that they took out. You have to have a 1611 Bible, which I do have, in order to see that stuff in there, right? So then it says the gymnasium replaced the temple as a social center. It became where honor was gained, going to the naked place. Where elites advanced, going to the naked place. Where loyalty was tested. Hey, I'm not. My loyalty is not going to be tested at no naked place. It's not happening. It is not happening.
I'm not going there at all.
Bam looks so disgusted right now. He looks so disgusted.
You like going to the gym, bro?
It says it means abandoning covenant distinctiveness, right? Oh man.
No, it's just like it's mind-boggling. It's so mind-boggling because our people love. Not talking about nobody here if y'all are a part of it, but the fraternities and sororities.
Yep.
That's my. Don't nobody push that like our people.
Mm-hmm.
Like white people got their fraternities, sororities too, but like it's not pushed like ours. Like our people take so much pride in it, and this is where it derives from.
Mm-hmm. Just like that song say, it goes down in the gym. Or it was DM. Never mind, it wasn't gym. I'm just saying.
But it's crazy that like you said that just with the Greek league, bro.
Yeah, bro.
And now really when we read this here, we can see how as we peel back the layers of this onion, you can see why in the Christian church, why so many
Boy, sus.
why some of these pastors, when you look at it there, brothers and sisters, when you look at it, most of these doggone preachers and stuff, they all part of those Greek fraternities.
And they went through seminary.
Now you tell me what goes on behind closed doors
Yeah, I definitely don't want to know.
That's why it's so acceptable.
Because apparently your loyalty got to get tested in a naked place with men, and that ain't going down. It ain't going down. That is not. That ain't it. I'm just trying to give y'all the truth. Hey. So then it says, why Jerusalem specifically matters. Building a gymnasium in Jerusalem was deliberate. Jerusalem equals covenant center. Temple equals identity core. Gymnasium equals pagan rival institution. This was spiritual displacement before physical destruction. So again, they were just making it. I know it's nasty.
No, I was just thinking about, everything you said, but that made me think about the matrons. I mean, what do you call it?
The matriarch.
Masons.
Oh yeah, the Masons, and then like the Eastern Star. Yeah. Well, yeah. All of those, a lot of those come back from Greek stuff and
Secret society.
ugh.
And it's crazy, 'cause when I, like, the masonry, like, they was actual masons, like the Greek mason.
Yeah.
It was like, they formed a secret society doing it. And that's why, they, their levels was like bricks, because it was naturally masonry people.
I ain't never known. I had Masons in my family.
I mean, we all have had Masons in our family. Like, I know.
There's different levels.
Yeah.
Of Masons.
Yeah. You don't get the truth until you get to 33. Then you find out you're following the light of
Because
Lucifer.
a majority of us partied on the 24th Street.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hidden room behind where we partied at.
On the temple.
There's a door behind a door that they would unlock, and that's where they had the meetings in. We just partied on the opposite side. We never seen the back side.
Because that's where your loyalty gets tested.
Yeah, it's right down street from old agency. That big old white building on the left side.
I was showing you the temple.
Boy.
I don't know nothing about that though. I don't know nothing about that though.
Somebody told me like a month ago, I heard about that, about the different room back there.
So then it says, why Scripture treats this as catastrophic. This verse immediately precedes abandonment of the covenant, desecration of the temple, persecution of the Torah observers, martyrdom. The gymnasium was phase one. So they were bringing in their culture and erasing your culture. Should sound familiar. How this connects to exile and outer darkness. This is crucial. The gymnasium represents cultural exile without leaving the land. Identity erasure through assimilation. They just want us all to be Americans. That's why they got rid of affirmative action and DEI and all this other type stuff, and no more, Black History Month and all this stuff. We're all Americans now. Y'all better pay attention to the patterns in people, because a lot of these people are their descendants. I'm telling y'all. Darkness before destruction. This is why later Jews said we were in exile even while in Jerusalem. That is outer darkness. So when the scriptures talks about outer darkness, again, we talked about it yesterday. A lot of people think that that's talking about hell. The context of the time when Yahushua was talking to the people, he was talking about captivity, because that's what they thought was hell, going into captivity and not having control of your own sovereignty, right? So then we keep going. So one sentence truth. The place of exercise was a Greek gymnasium built to erase Yahudim covenant identity through forced assimilation, nudity, and loyalty to pagan culture. It was an act of spiritual conquest. This is the Greek or the American mind, because they want you to be okay with all this other type stuff, right? Because we learned yesterday that the leader of the Holy Roman Empire, he was not it was not a bloodline thing. He was elected. Just like our presidents are elected, and then there were electors that would keep certain people out of trouble, right? It's America. America is the new Rome. So then I asked you a specific question, because I know y'all want to know the truth. Did they have sex there? I just want to see what the AI is going to tell me. I'm just saying, because maybe they were just talking politics. And so this is what GPT said. I'll answer this directly, historically, without sensationalization. Sensationalism, my bad. Yes, sexual activity did occur in and around Greek gymnasia, but that was not their official purpose. Then it says the place of exercise was officially for physical training, military preparation, education and philosophy, formation of Greek male identity.
What?
It was a state institution, not a brothel. So how can you even focus on anything when you just got, I'm not even gonna say it, just naked men in there? That's just weird. Like, this was a state sponsored institution.
So of all the dudes. in
No,
here-
but before you say anything, so I want y'all to take that in the same context. When you see all these movies with all these people of a different hue, always gotta have gay stuff in it, or gay jokes, and that's all gay humor and all this and that. These are their descendants. This is their mindset,
Program.
programming,
In their bloodline,
bloodline thing.
yeah.
What also happened there in practice, nudity was standard. So nudity was the standard. Men and youths trained completely naked. So men and little boys. You read it, man. I can't even read this. Go ahead, Jeremiah. Whoever wants to read it, go ahead.
This normalized erotic exposure, this alone was already a severe violation of Jewish law and modesty.
Actually, Brandon, read this one. Read this one, Brandon.
said
Yeah, Brandon, read this one. Brandon, read this one. Pederasty.
Where we at?
You're at the top.
Pederasty was culturally accepted in Greek society.
What is that?
like a pedophile.
Yep. Okay.
In the
Hellenistic.
my fault. In the Hellenistic world, sexual relationships between adult men and adolescent males were culturally normalized.
So pedophilia was normal to them.
Yeah. Man, that's wild.
And you wonder why all this stuff's going on with the Epstein files and all this.
Right.
The same people.
Epstein, yeah, Epstein.
And all these little secret societies and presidents and all these other people.
No, no more.
Epstein was.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, he didn't discriminate.
Because y'all know the Nickelodeon sign, like the first one before they put the foot,
Mm.
the second one. It's like a little, yeah, it's like a little splat, but they did a thing that's supposed to be shaped like the Epstein Island.
Oh my goodness.
The guy who the Nickelodeon.
And y'all think y'all can trust Nick Cannon, huh? That's his channel, ain't it?
Yeah, it's not his channel, but he got famous off of it. But yeah,
Go ahead, Eddie.
Let me go ahead and just gotta iterate something here. See, yeah, a little history of these folks, these so-called Caucasus Mountains and all that.
Yeah.
See, we were always, our people, Yah blessed us with the fat of the land, so we can grow anything we want.
Yeah.
Those people didn't have the blessings that we had, and then plus you gotta remember, that's what those fallen angels was and all that. So, where they was at, man, it was like, food was scarce, and they'd rather have pleasure with, you know, with another man or another little child, because every time they had sex with a woman, keep in mind the food is scarce, brothers and sisters. Every time they had sex with a woman, what happens when you have intercourse, man?
progression.
Yeah. So man, their food supply is getting. I gotta go ahead and give this kid some of my food, and that's less. So with them, the only reason they had sex with a woman was just because they knew their numbers got low. They had to keep a certain amount of, you know. Other than that, nah, man, they was trying to keep their food supply up, man. You couldn't be going ahead and doing that. With
Get your butt
you
down.
know?
Go. But then also, our people went to their king so we could get permission to make those. So we had people that was into that other type of weirdo stuff also. There was different times in the text to where sodomites would literally have to get kicked out of the land, right? We had people into that other stuff.
It's so crazy because it's like they know as long as they keep us doing that, they, like you said, we had the fat of the land, but that's how they keep the fat of the land.
Yep.
We turn it on
Yep.
every time.
Turnover.
Forfeit.
They do the same thing in the Middle East too, though.
Yep.
You know, they say women over kids, men up for pleasure. That's a great.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a fact.
You had mentioned something earlier about, you asked the question, you said, how can they focus on that when they're doing this? So, in boot camp, we were, brainwashed. But,
Yeah, we were.
coming out of the shower, they used to make us say it in line. Like, I ain't gonna say how they said it, but like you were tight to one another. Me?
do that in the Army.
Nah, like I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
We didn't do that in the
I
Army.
couldn't do it.
In the Marines? I knew there's a reason why I didn't join them.
Thank God.
Man, we were looking like, where do I sign? No, I'm
Nah,
stop.
bro.
I'm stop. I'm stop.
Come get yourself off me.
Did they grab you like this or like this?
No, like this.
Nah.
Yourself.
So, so it says pederasty was culturally accepted in Greek society, and in the Hellenistic world, sexual relationships between adult men and adolescent males were culturally normalized. Gymnasia were one of the main social environments where such relationships formed. So you would go there looking for. Yeah. Ancient Greek writers openly discuss this. Jewish writers condemn it fiercely. Part 3, it says, sex did not openly occur during training, not in public, but sexual acts were not conducted openly on the exercise floor, but sexual relationships originated there. Grooming, pursuit, so chasing them like they a female, and pairing commonly began there. Nearby rooms, bath areas, and private spaces were used for sex, in other words. So the answer is not no, but also not crude caricature. But, I mean, we get the gist of that.
Yeah.
The gymnasium was not a good thing. Even the fact that we said now that's the naked place with no women. That's hell to a man, to a real man. I'm just saying. That's disgusting. That's weird. So what? Yeah. Yeah.
Go to the place of workout.
It's so sickening that the American people took these words and like normalized them as if it's okay.
Yeah.
Like the more and more you read in scripture, you see that they manipulated the crap out of all this. Knowing that scripture says life and death lies in the power of the tongue.
Boy.
You know what I mean? Be careful what you speak. So
Boy.
I think it's so is he. So knowing all this stuff, when you gonna sit around here and put that witchcraft in our everyday language. Like,
Yeah, bro.
that's so sickening.
Yeah, think of the mindset of the oppressor, because that's what that is. That's complete witchcraft, because that's crazy.
Man, this is crazy.
That's madness. Jerome over here just shaking his head.
Well, now it makes sense. I used to work at the YMCA.
Yeah.
The men's locker room and women's locker room is different. At school.
Yeah.
The men's locker room. In the men's locker room, the showers are all open. At college, you can go to
Yep.
college. I used to get up early.
That's
in
a
the
fact.
morning before anyone. It's all open.
That's a fact.
At gym at the AR, the showers were in the circle, all open.
Mm-hmm.
But there was dividers for the women. Now this makes sense
Yeah.
because you showered.
Yeah, they was trying to see something.
If you was in college, if you wanted to shower, you either got up early in the morning
That's what I did.
or late at night,
Army.
so that you wouldn't be showering with other people.
Yeah, ain't nobody trying to see all that.
Now it makes sense. It wasn't until 2000 where they put a divider at, I work at Connors, a divider between the showers, so you have some kind of privacy.
Connors is nasty for that.
But when we went to, even in the military and everything, all the men shower together with open
Ours was
showers.
open too.
Basic training,
Yep.
Yeah.
That stuff makes sense.
But I'll always go late at night or super.
Boy, facts. Yeah, like, okay, all y'all going to bed? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So once you get out of after you get out of a certain phase, you can choose when you shower. But you got to get out of, what was it, red phase? What was it?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I get a red face.
the girls are in there all night in your room, in your bed or whatever. So
Yeah.
you can shower whenever you want to.
Mm-hmm.
As long as somebody don't tell on you.
Yeah, because, like,
You get a sock party.
boy, the pillow party coming to a theater near you. So we can finish this out and be done for today. It says, now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, because remember, under Alexander, everything was Gucci. He thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of 2 realms. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen, and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. And after that Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude. So this is one of the people that got to reign after Alexander died. And he wants to come against the people now, even though Alexander gave us his seal of approval, right? So whoever wants to read, go ahead.
This sounds like what happened
When Joseph died,
yep. Exactly what.
because there was a king or pharaoh that knew not Joseph. Yep.
And enter proudly unto the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar, and the candlesticks of light, and all the vessels thereof, and the table of what's that?
The showbread.
The showbread, and the pouring vessels, and the vials.
Vials.
Vials. I thought it was tea. I can't see too good.
And the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crown, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. He took also the silver and the gold, and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went in to his own land, having a great massacre, and spoke very proudly. Therefore there was a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were. See, this is what happens when you start serving other gods. 'Cause remember, our people went to their king, got permission to do all that madness, and then Antiochus ends up coming, that wicked root.
And he stole the fat of the land.
And he stole, like you said, stole the good that we had. Comes in there, does it, massacres a whole bunch of people, took people into captivity. So then it says, so that the princes and elders mourned. The virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of men was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah. So now Antiochus is sending one of his emissaries, tax collectors, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceably unto them. But all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell upon the city, and smote it very sore, and destroyed much of Israel. So when in the New Testament, when you see Mashiach talking about peace and safety, he's warning the people because it had already happened dealing with the Greeks. So we should be able to see and know different patterns and stuff, right? So then he says, and when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire, and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. This sounds a lot like the Spanish Inquisition. But the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle. And according to Josephus, he took over 10,000 captive in that instance alone, right? Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall, and with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and with victuals. And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid up there. And so they became a sore snare. A sore snare. Outer darkness, whenever you go into captivity, that is outer darkness. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary, and defiled it. Insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. Whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her. And her own children left her. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. And as had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. This sounds like the Spanish Inquisition. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. Oh, here we go. And sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings. We couldn't do anything in our culture in the Inquisition, right? So, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days. So we couldn't do nothing according to our culture. We had to do what their culture. We had to fully assimilate. We had to be Christianized. We had to be Americanized, right?
Let us erase the name of Yahweh
From under heaven, so they'll no more being remembered as a nation, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. So they set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, because we know that's the most abominable thing to our people, swine's flesh. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised, is what you were talking about, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, gymnasium, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said, he should die. Did they not say if we didn't convert, we would die in the Inquisition? This is the Greek Inquisition.
So he the Most High. So he given our commandments.
Yep.
And you know, when you disobey him,
And you're going to serve my gods, or you're going to serve me.
yeah, or you're gonna die. But it's crazy because the Most High gave us that compliment. Like, hey, you know, the wages of sins is death. You know what I mean? Sin constitutes disobedience towards the Most High. You shall not. Like, so, why do our people do that? Like, they consistently sit around here and go for the fate.
Because we want to be like everybody else.
They want something they can see.
Mm-hmm.
That's so
When the
unreal.
Father gave us God is in, but we don't want to give the power and just commit ourselves fully to Him.
Mm-hmm. Because again, we want what everyone in Babylon wants. Looking for the same stuff. Because again, he said, convert or die. Either you convert or you're going to die. This exact same thing in the Spanish Inquisition before they sent us off into outer darkness in the transatlantic slave trade. Same thing. So then he says, in the self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor or comfort. Now the 15th day of the month Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation. This is what I be trying to tell people that already happened, right? They set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side. So they set it up in the temple, and then they just start setting up all these idol temples everywhere in Jerusalem. This is the context that you don't see in the New Testament because they took that out. On every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets, because we didn't used to burn incense. We didn't used to do all that, at least not to other gods or Elohim. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. Now this is our people doing that too, because we were zealous to become Greeks.
Yeah.
Just like people are zealous to become Americans or to conform to this world. That's what was going on back then. And whosoever was found with any book of the Testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. Again, this is the Inquisition. Thus,
This is after Daniel's time, correct?
Yeah.
This sounds like Daniel's time all over again.
No, this is after. This is right. This is what they call the intertestamental period. It's roughly about 400 years from the end of Malachi to Matthew that starts the New Testament, right? Quote unquote.
So, they happened during that Daniel's time.
Yeah, but not the Maccabees. Yeah, I'm talking about the Maccabees.
No, I'm
Yeah.
talking about what's going on. This perpetual cycle that happened throughout Scripture from Genesis to Revelation.
Facts.
So what I'm reading here, more is that we have
two abominations of desolation, that this was like the first one, and then the 170 AD was the final one after we rejected our king?
Yeah, I mean, but so, and this is what happens when you deal with wicked people that want to make things seem like more than what they are. Because we all just read in the text where it said that they set up the abomination of desolation. So then even Mashiach is like, when you see the abomination of desolation, know that the destruction is nigh. So when you see somebody doing the same pattern of a thing, because they didn't do it exactly the same, they completely, in 70 AD, they completely destroyed the temple to where there wasn't a stone left on it. And what they did was they started setting up their banners that had all of their different gods on them, right? On the area where the temple was at. Then they sacrificed swine's flesh, right? So it wasn't exactly the same manner as the Greeks did it, but it's really the same enemy. I mean, so in the future, they're going to do something similar to make it seem like it's the real thing when we know it's the wrong people even there. So it don't even count. But the world, they're not even paying attention to that. You got it?
Because my mind working.
Ooh, that's rare. Go ahead.
Can we, is there not happening, like, once again, is there not a perpetual state of what happened? Because you look at the Roman Catholic Church, these are quote unquote supposed to be temples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Talk about it. Go.
The American Christian Church. You know
Yep,
what I mean?
yep.
You hear about all these priests practicing this gymnasium act inside these, temples. And of course, we still cooking them pork and the swine in these
Because
churches.
they told us to do it, because the pork to them and their religions is a holy thing.
So is that not what's still going on?
Yes. Because who's the God of this world? Lucifer, right? Right, the fallen one, right? And he's like, the power has been given to a specific group of people right now. And they've deceived the whole world. Because again, like, when a pope dies, where does the world look to?
Rome.
Where is that in the text, though? That don't make no sense. Oh, St. Peter, he started the Roman Catholic Church where? Where? If I'm not mistaken, the Romans killed him. What are we talking about?
The only thing missing from this that happened in the Spanish Inquisition is they would say, this person would say, oh, they whistled last night and they get brought in to confess whatever they don't know.
Yeah.
And then they get tortured.
Because this was like, if somebody accused you of doing something, because look, what did it say?
Was found.
Yeah, if they were found with the book of the law or keeping anything, because remember in the Inquisition, they'd be paying attention if you were keeping the Sabbath day, or if you weren't kindling a fire on Saturday, or if you weren't eating any type of pork or anything. They were just tailing you and all this type of stuff. And this they're like, no, I know for a fact they got a book of the law. Let's get them. It's the same thing. It's an Inquisition, except they're not really asking questions. They already know what you're doing. Because there were certain people that were going to stand on business for the Most High. Because this is really about obeying the voice of the Most High and following His Mashiach, which is following the Word, which is following the law, whether people believe it or not. So, what verse were we on? Because
Go back to 58.
we'll go back to 58. Okay. So then he says, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. And whosoever was found with the book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, that the king's commandment was they were to be put to death. So when they used to put us to death in the Spanish Inquisition.
You read the wrong one.
Oh, okay, that was supposed to be 56. Okay. She's like, wait a minute. So when they were killing us in the Spanish Inquisition publicly, what was it called?
Which one? Which act?
What's it called?
Auto de fe.
Auto de fe, which means
Act of faith.
act of faith. So that it's the same thing, putting us to death if we were doing anything pertaining to the book. That was original acts of faith, right? Oh, I mean, there were different torture methods, yeah. Then he says, thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month. So they were doing this to us every month, to Israelites, to as many as were found in the cities, killing us. Now the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the altar, idol altar, which was upon the altar of Elohim, the 25th of December, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women, because certain of our women were standing on business, that had caused their children to be circumcised. Why do you even care what we're doing to our children? That's weird.
Because once again, if they keep
Did you
us-
turn that mic off? Is that mic off? Yeah, you need to stop doing that.
How do you completely moving around? That was distracting. But no, so once again, the reason why they care so much, because they don't want us to be asserted back into our rightful position. If they keep us on our heels and doing wrong, they will forever be in the quote unquote source of power.
They keep us blind so we don't know who we are.
Yep. Because if anybody's blind, we're it. Don't know where we come from. So I wasn't going to read a whole nother chapter. We're going to stop at this one. So it says, and they hanged the infants about their necks. Just because their mama circumcised them. Hanged the infants about their necks, auto de face, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Even with all that going on. Hanging children, bruh. Wherefore the rather to die, so they would rather die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So they died. So then they died, and there was very great wrath upon Israel. People would rather die than eat unclean things. Would rather die instead of keeping the covenant with the Most High. This is the feast of dedication. Some people was dedicated to it, and they end up getting eternal life behind that. Figure out what you dedicated to, and be zealous for that thing. Again, we were going to do another chapter. We're going to stop there, and I'll probably just go live or something tomorrow. But just trying to show you the Greek Inquisition. Hanging babies, bruh. Yeah. That's what
Even the alligator, I was tripping like, they did.
Yeah. So,
The hogs, the dogs,
Jerome, will you press out?
To the kids.
Heavenly Father, here we give another day and bless us. Heavenly Father, thank you for the lesson today, Heavenly Father. Thank you for the ones that are simple here in this assembly, Heavenly Father. Heavenly Father, as we depart from this place and not from your presence, Heavenly Father,
Yes,
keep a love and hedge of protection around us,
Yes,
Heavenly Father. Keep us from all hurt, harm, and danger. These are blessings in your son's name, I pray. Amen.
So we are Yehuda. This is YAH'S Assembly. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like and share our content. And as always, until next time, Shalom, tribe. He literally said Jesus was, you heard him?